We had great fun, going to camp early on. We didn't have buses. We took the train. It was the Pure Marquette. Got on it down in Chicago. Camp Echo had a whole coach, as did other camps. In fact, the train was made up of youngsters going to camp, mostly in Michigan, and coaches would be separated from time to time, and the ones to Camp Echo, we got off at a crossing. There was no station. There was just a crossing in the road, and you got off, and we didn't have buses at the time. We got on the back of a truck, and we were trucked into camp, and let the fun begin. And it did. And then later on, as a counselor, well, let me go back. One of the neat things that happened while I was at Camp Echo, the lake is a mud-bottom lake. As a young camper, we would take soap dips, but your feet would be all muddy, and one of our directors, and I believe it was Cliff Maxwell, came up with the idea of hauling in sand and putting it on the ice over where they were going to have their swimming area, and eventually built up a sand beach. That beach is not a natural beach. It was one that was built up with the idea that came from one of our directors. And wow, today being down at the beach is great fun, and that's where you take your swimming lessons and you take off for water skiing and what have you. But that's an artificial beach that one of our wonderful leaders in the Y brought to fruition. I don't know if I did mention Red Mosier. Well, yeah, I guess I had. Red was an extraordinary person, very loving, caring. He was, in my mind's eye, a hero. And my father died rather unexpectedly. Well, it was unexpectedly. He was just 52 years of age. And I was a junior in high school. And we did not belong to any specific church or religious groups. And my father had always been active in the Masonic Society. So he had a Masonic ceremony, if you will. But Red Mosier gave the eulogy, and that was a huge gift to a bereaved family. And here again, the Y was there to help when we needed help. And the Y is still in that business today, to give help in the community when it's needed. The summers that our children were on staff at camp were marvelous for Mom and Dad, because we knew that where they were getting fed, they were getting led, and we had a peaceful summer to ourselves. We were so aware of the value of the Y experience and the camp experience that there was a time, it was time of our 16th wedding anniversary, we were going to be away. We were going on a long trip, which would take us to Hawaii as a guest of my uncle. And we reflected on, what would happen to the children if something happened to us. And we made a codicil to our will that our children would go to Camp Echo every summer while they were growing up. That's how much we thought of what the Y could do in raising our children. Our grandchildren are going to camp right at this moment. Our youngest grandchild, who is from Gainesville, Florida. He's a leader in training at the camp. So here comes the third generation of camp leadership in our family, and we couldn't be more tickled to death. And our granddaughter, she's from Connecticut now, and she's just getting back. She will get back this weekend from the Boundary Waters canoe and camping experience that I can't wait to hear her tales of that experience. They all come back excited. We've been down to the bus to see them off as they've gone to camp, including this year, and to see the excitement that they have of meeting old friends, people they've known before. You're going again this year. Oh, great! You know, hope we'll be together. And they're renewing their own friendships. And there is a great excitement as those buses pull away and those youngsters are on their way to Adventureland in Michigan. An absolute gift to the community. I don't know any other organization that has been able to achieve it to the level that the McGaw YMCA has. I was president of the board of directors of the YMCA when we got that special gift that allowed us to do some huge, huge improvements in building from the members of the McGaw family and change the leadership situation from a president of the Y. I became the first chairman of the board. So more growth for me and more fun for the family. The Y continues to utilize the experience of former presidents. We have an organization that gets together from time to time as, if you will, an advisory committee to help the Y on looking to directions where they can serve. We act as a sounding board to say, yeah, that sounds good, or okay, how can we make that happen? And you know, the Y still has that program for men who have a hard time in the community where they can't afford housing. There is housing for them at the Y. This is not true throughout the country. The programs for residencies have sort of gone their way, but it's still a vital part of the YMCA here in Evanston. It's something giving to the community and serving a need that no one else does or could. My dream for the next 100 years for the YMCA, the McGaw YMCA here in Evanston, is to continue in the business of growing leadership, helping others, caring for others, and be the guide in the community for saying it can be done. We're going to be doing our part to make it be done, and please join with us so it will be done. 125 years strong, to me, reflects that the Y has chosen leaders to carry the battle, if you will, just like they talk about Army strong, well, we've got Y strong. And it builds from within, it seeks from without, and always improving, like metal that gets strength hardened. strong character, strong health, that's the Y's business. That's what we're about.
So true.
You know, if there was one word to describe what the Y is, does, in today's vernacular, I would say cool. The Y is cool. It's the place to be. It's the place that gives you growth and development. Has the neatest camp you ever want to. Couldn't even believe what a great place that to go. It's cool. It's the place to be. It's there for all of us, and I'm glad I'm a part of it. I was one of the very fortunate. I know there are a lot in our community who have not had the opportunity that I had, coming from a very loving, caring, supportive family who saw the values of my participation and growth in the Y. After that first year at camp, my annual birthday present was a membership of the Y. That was my big gift, and loved it. You know, wow, did that open the doors? Did that give me opportunities to do things here in town? Go to camp. It helped me in building my own leadership experiences from counseling. As a Y counselor, in the Y clubs, when I was in college, I was counselor of a Y club here in Evanston. The clubs were a great part of that program. The woman who I later married, she was also a counselor of one of the Y clubs. And that was one of the things values that we saw in each other and that we shared. And so that certainly helped me in deciding who I wanted to spend my life with. And that next year we'll celebrate 60 years of marriage. And we are excited that our kids will still be at camp, will still be involved with the Y, and will still be becoming leaders thanks to the Y. Just another thing, thinking about camp and the experience by the grandson I have up there is the LIT. He also has helped teach sailing. And I grew up and was the sailing instructor at Camp Echo. And, you know, there aren't a lot of places to sail down in Gainesville, Florida. And in fact, there are none. But I'm thrilling that he is enjoying things that I had enjoyed. It gives us a connection. We don't see each other very much. You know, we're separated by a long distance in time. But here again, we some shared experiences that we can enjoy talking with each other about. I think that's neat.